Hello everybody, my name is Jerem Timkulu from Transcar Consulting Services. I'm here to take you through the past ACCA PM papers in the area of throughput accounting. Okay, one of the questions is from June 2011, that is question 10 okay, and the other one is taken from the multiple choice questions in the sample or specimen paper, the September 2016. Okay, we're going to do these two questions as part of our revision for the upcoming ACCA performance management exams. Okay, so I hope you are going to enjoy and you are going to be assisted in this area. If you need further assistance, this is our consultancy, the Transcar Consulting Services, which is available on www.transcarconsulting.co.zw. And this is our this is our website. Okay, and you can also get in touch with me directly on this number. Okay, you can also get in touch with me there either through call or WhatsApp. All right, so we teach ACCA at every stage. Okay, at this consultant service, we are very serious guys. All right, very serious crew. All right, without wasting your time, let us go through the question. The first question: THINCO is a private hospital offering 3 types of surgical procedures known as A, B, and C. Okay, each of them uses a preoperative injection given by a nurse before surgery. So in an exam, given this case start question, you just have to read just a few lines before you go to the requirement. This will help you to have a general understanding of what the question is all about. Here we've learned that this is a private hospital that is offering 3 procedures. Okay, it's just one of those questions. Sometimes the examiner will bring a question like this, but talking about products. Okay, procedures. In the textbook, you have seen something like products. It's just one and the same thing. Do not be confused. Okay, you don't need to have experience of working in a hospital for you to answer these questions. What you need to do is just to be very assertive, okay, and having some cognitive balance. All right, don't be easily swayed or don't be easily dazzled with these things. All right, so it is also worth to note that because of the CBE environment, we are not going to have such a daunting and long question in our exam. Okay, we are likely to meet a bit shorter. You can see this question is very long. Look at this. Look at this. Wow, very long. Whoop. Very long. Okay, now the requirement part A: calculate the throughput accounting ratio. Okay, and at this level we know that throughput accounting ratio, okay, is equal to throughput per hour or per factory hour. Okay, per factory hour, or throughput per bottleneck hour. Okay, throughput per bottleneck hour. Okay, fine, or per bottleneck resource. Okay, divided by cost per factory hour. Factory hour. That's the throughput formula. All right. We also know that throughput itself is equal to selling price minus material cost. Selling price minus material cost. At this level, everyone knows that. Okay, good. Now we are also required to calculate the optimum product mix. This one in most textbooks is referred to as the production plan. It's one and the same thing. Production plan, the optimum production plan, and the maximum profit per annum. Okay. Lastly, we are required to discuss whether the overall profit of the company could be improved by equipping and using extra theater. Okay, I need to see the time so that I do not waste much of the time. Okay, we now have this, so let us quickly finish reading the question. So let's continue. Each of them, that is each of these procedures, uses a pre-operative injection given by a nurse before surgery. THINCO currently rents an operating theatre from a neighboring government hospital. THINCO does have an operating theatre on its premises, but it has never been put into use since it would cost $750,000 to equip. The managing director of THINCO is keen to maximize profits and has heard of something called throughput accounting, which may help him to do this. The following information is available. Number one, all patients go through a 5-step process irrespective of which procedure they are having. So these are the processes. Step one, the steps, whether you want to do procedure A, procedure B, procedure C, you are going to go through this process, step 1 to 5. Number 2, the price of each procedure A, B, and C is $2,700, $3,500, and $4,250 respectively. The only materials costs relating to the procedures are for the pre-operative injections given by the nurse. Okay, the anesthetic and the dressings, these are as follows. Okay, so the material costs relating to the procedures are for the pre-operative injections given by the nurse, the anesthetic and the dressings. Okay, these are as follows. So these are the material costs. Remember, at this here, okay, we can able to calculate the throughput accounting ratio, okay, given so far. All right, the throughput itself, the throughput, which is throughput contribution. Normally I call it throughput contribution, is equal to selling price minus material cost. Okay, the material cost, and this is the selling price. The selling prices are here and the material cost is here. Okay, so we can calculate, and the question wants us to calculate only for C, but for the purpose of learning, we are going to calculate for every procedure. Okay, going to calculate for every procedure. Let's move. There are 5 members of staff. Okay, these are 5. These guys who work at this hospital are just 5. There are 5 members of staff employed by THINCO. Each work a standard 40-hour week for 47 weeks of the year, a total of 1,808 hours. This one is given by 40 by 47. Okay, 40 hours by 47 weeks, and we get 1,880. Their salaries are as follows. So this is the information about salaries. Okay, and like I said, we know that in throughput accounting, the only variable cost that matters is material cost. All the other costs, these salaries and rents and so forth, they are called other factory costs. Okay, they are fixed costs. They are considered part of the fixed costs. All right. The only other hospital costs comparable to factory costs in a traditional manufacturing environment are general overheads, which include the theater rental costs and amount to 250,000 per annum. So you can see that these items plus these ones. Okay. All right. Let me just say all these are our factory costs, total factory costs, or other factory costs. Okay. All right. These are the other factory costs, or total factory costs. Okay, they are considered fixed. Labor, the labor costs, the salaries, and the rentals and so forth, they are going to be grouped as one. Maximum annual demand for A, B, C is 600, 800, and 1,200 procedures respectively. Time spent by each of the 5 different staff members on each procedure is as follows. So this is the time that is spent by the practitioners, the advisor, the nurse, the anesthetist, surgeon, recovery specialist. These are their times. Okay, part hours are shown as decimals. Okay, for example, 0.2 hours simply means that it is equal to 14.4 minutes given by 0.2 multiplied by 60, because in an hour for 60 minutes. The examiner was very generous there. Surgeon's hours, the surgeon's hours have been correctly identified as the bottleneck resource. Was it correctly identified? Yes. Why? Because as you can see that the surgeon spends more hours in his procedures. As you can see, in procedure A, spends 0.7 hours, 0.75 hours. In procedure B, he spends 1 hour on a patient. Okay, you can see, while this one spends 0.70. Okay, if you are not careful, you may think this is over an hour. No, this is not over an hour. 0.70 multiplied by 60 gives us 43 minutes. Okay, 0.7 multiplied by 60, that's 42 minutes. Okay, 42 minutes. That's not a full hour, this one. Do not be confused. Okay, so you can see that the surgeon spends here 1 hour, 0.75, and the rest are less. Okay, here spends 1.25. So the surgeon is a bottleneck resource. Surgeon's hours or surgeon's time is a bottleneck resource. So whatever working we are going to do, we are going to base on the surgeon as a bottleneck resource. Okay, done. So let's start our computation. Because we are in a CBE environment, we have to get used to the use of Excel. Okay, later we are going to use Excel as part of our workings. Okay, so let us try to go to the Excel here. Okay, we are now in the Excel, and we just have to be very comfortable in using Excel. We mustn't feel intimidated with Excel. Okay, and we're having 3 procedures, so it's wiser to just put our table with an A. Okay, A for procedure A. We've got procedure B. We've got procedure C. Okay, and we know when we want to calculate our throughput accounting ratio, we need to determine the throughput first. Okay, throughput per procedure. Okay, and to calculate throughput, we need the selling price, and selling price is given in our question. Okay, selling price is given. If we go back to the question, this is the selling price. Okay, for A, you can say A, B, and C. Okay, for A, that's 2.7. Okay, selling price, that's 2.7. For B, that's 3.5. For C, that's how much? C, 4250. Then we know that for us to get throughput is selling price minus material cost. So materials, the materials, are they given in the question? Yes, they are given. We are told here that the material costs relating to the procedures are for the pre-operative injections given by the nurse, the anesthetic, and the dressings. So these are the materials, as you can see here. All right, so for procedure A, the materials, you just have to add them up. For procedure B, we add them up again, as you can see. For procedure C, we do the same. All right, so for procedure A, the 700 plus 35 becomes 735 plus 560, that's 740.60. Okay, 740.6. Okay, for procedure B, for B, that's 800 plus 40, that's 840, 845.60. For procedure C, that's 1000, 1045, 1050, 60, 1050, 60. Therefore, throughput contribution, okay, throughput contribution is given by selling price minus material cost. Here you can just say equal sign this one, okay, minus this one. Press enter. We get 1959.40. We then have to copy and paste. Okay, and we've determined our throughput contribution per procedure. Okay, now we then have to determine the hours on the bottleneck resource. Okay, hours on bottleneck resource. Okay, hours on bottleneck resource, and this information is given in the question. We go back to the question. Okay, we know our bottleneck resource is the surgeon's hours. Okay, hours on bottleneck resource. Procedure A has got 0.75 hours. That's surgeon's time, 0.75 hours. Okay, let us slot in the figure. 0.75 hours. All right, here there's no point of skipping a line. All right, and procedure B, 1 hour is 1.25 hours. You can cross check. Okay, as you can see. Good. So throughput per bottleneck hour, okay, or throughput per hour, throughput per hour is equal to this divided by this. Enter. Okay, that's 2612.53. Then you have to paste it out. Thus the throughput per hour per each procedure. Okay, now let us, because we know, okay, we are led by this formula, right? That T throughput accounting ratio, okay, is equal to throughput, okay, per factory hour, okay, throughput per factory hour. All right, we know this formula, all divided by cost per factory hour. All right. Okay, so we have calculated the first part of the formula. Okay, we've calculated the first part of the formula, that is throughput per factory hour, and these are the figures. Okay, now let us calculate the costs per factory hour. Okay, sometimes you can just call them other factory costs. Okay, other factory costs per hour. All right, cost per factory hour. Costs per factory hour. The examiners will see, okay, they will understand this. All right, they will understand this. Can just double click. Okay, so that all the information fits in the column. All right, to compute the cost per factory hour, these ones I'm sure you know, they are also called the term cost, I mean the word cost there simply refers to the other factory costs. Okay, so other factory costs we have just shortened to say cost. It stands for the other factory costs, which are part of the total fixed costs, because in throughput accounting only materials are variable, the rest are fixed. Okay, so let us now determine the other factory costs. Okay, Okay, so to compute the other factory costs, we can start with the salaries. Okay, salaries or labor. Okay, salaries. If we go to the question, this is the information we need for the salaries, and we have already indicated during the reading phase, because in the exam there's no time for you to read and read and read. It doesn't work like that. You're going to fail. So you just have to read and mark. Okay, all right, this is now a computer-based exam, but they are highlighters and so forth. All right, you can just highlight as you read. All right, so let us just take down this information. We start with 45,000. Okay, that is 45,000. There is also a salary for how much? 45,000. There is 38 and 75. 38 and 75. There's no time. 38, 75, 90, 50. No time. Okay, this is the information we are talking about. All right, so salaries are adding up to how much? Okay, total salaries, total salaries is how much? Okay, can just do sum. Okay, sum. We're getting total of 298,000. Okay, let's add something here. We are told here the only other hospital costs comparable to factory costs in a traditional manufacturing environment are general overheads, which include the theater rental cost and amount to 250,000 per annum. 250,000 per annum. So let us add this figure, 250,000. Other. Okay, yeah, just say other costs, other costs 250. Here for you to avoid confusion, especially during exam pressure, you can just underline. Okay, just underline. All right, so what is the total here? The total, you can just say equal sign sum, open bracket, enter. That's 548. Okay, that's 548. Okay, we have obtained our 548,000. This is the total of the factory costs, okay, or the other factory costs. That's the total. All right, but we want the cost per factory hour. Okay, the cost per factory hour. So we are going to divide this figure, okay, by, so divided by, okay, we want to divide this figure by from the question. Let us be led by the question. Okay, here the question is saying they are, let me just erase this. Okay, there are 5 members of staff employed by ThinCo. Each works a standard 40-hour week for 47 weeks of the year, a total of 1,800 hours. Okay, that's in a year each person works 1,800 hours. and this is the figure we want. All right, so we go to our Excel sheet and we slot in 1880. Okay, and we get equal sign this divided by this. We get 291.4894. Okay. But I'm not pleased with these decimals. They're too much. So what can I do to reduce the decimals? Okay, let's try this way. Let us try. Okay, go here. This one is to reduce. All right, it can't. So let us click the number we want to reduce the decimals at least to 2 decimal places. So if we do this, that's okay. Good. And here can come again. Okay, this one is not fine. Okay, can just make them to 2 decimal places. That's okay. So this is the cost per factory hour. Okay, cost per factory hour. So we can simply copy, paste here. Okay, what's going on? Okay, great. Now this figure is not expected to change. Okay, this figure should not change. What's going on here? Okay, okay. For problem-free copying, you can simply put an equal sign, okay, and then copy the cell reference itself, that is I. Okay, that's equal sign I, and the row number, that's 15. Okay, I15, enter. Okay, you have obtained your amount as communicated by the cell here, okay, or as shown by the cell. Then what you do is you have to ensure that these figures are just the same. Okay, you have to ensure these figures are just the same. So you can just put a $sign here, $sign here. Okay, so you can just paste right round, and you can see that the figures do not change. Now that's the cost per factory hour. So for our TPAR, the throughput accounting ratio, we know the formula. Okay, the formula, we now know it. So is equal to this pi divided by this part. Enter. That's 8.96. Okay, paste out. Okay, these are our throughput accounting ratios. We can do the formatting to 2 decimal places, okay, to 2 decimal places, and we have got our throughput accounting ratios shown this way, okay, because these are the major figures, okay. We were required just to calculate C, but for the purpose of learning, we calculated them all, okay. So that's the first part A. You can also do some bit of formatting for these guys so that they are a bit visible, okay, so that they're a bit visible. All right, yeah, you have to show the examiners you're ready, you're ripe and ready to pass, okay. That's a bit of some formatting. Now we have to move to part B of the question because we do not have time. All right, so let us go to part B. Now for part B we have to yeah, okay, let us erase this. One thing I like about part B is that it gives us a recheck of our process, okay, if we had done it correctly, okay. And the examiners are saying that the return per factory hour for products A, B has been calculated and is 2612.53 and 2640.40, 2654.40 respectively. The throughput accounting ratio for A and B has been calculated and is $8.96 and 8.96 and 9.11 respectively, okay. We can check ourselves to see if we had done our own computations correctly. You can see that we have obtained 8.96 and 9.11, and also these figures 2612.53 and 2654.4. We've done that. So we are on track, right on track. Now let us compute the optimum product mix or the optimum production plan, okay. Let us compute this one before we go to the maximum profit. We can do it even in Excel, okay. We can do it even in Excel, okay. So for part B, let this guy be here for now, or you can be here, okay, you can be here. All right, you know from your studies that after you obtain the throughput per factory hour, okay, you then go to what is called ranking, okay, the stage for ranking. So let us rank these guys. Ranking, okay. Based on the throughput accounting ratio, we can see that product okay, ranking, let us rank, okay, ranking. We can see that product B is the most rewarding product, or procedure B is the most rewarding in terms of throughput. Okay, it gives us more contribution. All right, it's being shown by the throughput accounting ratio. All right, this shows that this product gives us a lot of money. So product B should be given preference, followed by procedure A, and lastly procedure C, that's third in preference. Okay, once we determine this, we then have to move on. Okay, we do not stop there. we have to move on. We now have to come up with the production plan. Okay, product mix. Optimum product mix. Okay, the optimum product mix. This is governed by the amount of available hours. Okay, because hours have been determined to be the bottleneck resource. Okay, because the surgeon's hours have been determined to be a bottleneck resource. So generally, the hours are the bottleneck resource. Okay, so we come here, all right, and tell the examiners total hours available. Total hours. Okay, let us not skip a line because the examiners will be confused. Okay, total hours, total bottleneck hours, available. According to the question, let's go to the question. We can see that our work is now clumsy here. We need to just give space so that examiners won't have trouble in marking our work. Okay, so we can just write our work down here. Okay, optimum product mix. Okay, there's no harm in formatting it to become more legible. Okay, and then you can do it in a vertical format or in a horizontal format. It doesn't matter. Okay, but it should be very logical. Okay, so let us just come up with this table. Okay, where we are having the product, okay, units produced, hour on bottleneck resource, hours on bottleneck resource, okay, hours, okay, bottleneck resource, okay, then we want okay, the throughput. Okay, the throughput. Okay, just a throughput. TP. Okay, the TP. Then the total TP. Okay, it's fine. Product, we are led by our ranking order. Okay, the first product or the product to be given the first preference should be B. Okay. I don't like what is happening here. Okay. Yeah. So that is very clear to the examiners. So we are going to start with product B, followed by product A, because A is number 2, then lastly product C. Alright, how many units of A are we going to produce? We take everything of A, okay, given that our hours permit. Okay, so we start to take everything of A, and according to the demand is going to tell us how many quantities of A are we going to take. So we are led by the question. The question is talking about demand. Let us go to demand information. Maximum annual demand for product, where's my tablet? Okay, maximum demand A is 600. B, let us rub off this. Okay, B 800, C 1200. So the demand for B is 800 because B is the first product we are going to produce. So we go to our Excel spreadsheet and we say we're going to produce 800 of you. Then the hours on the bottleneck resource, this one is straightforward. We just take the figures as per the surgeon's hours. We are told that B takes 1 hour, A takes 0.75 hours, okay, 0.75 hours, and C takes 1.25 hours. That's given in the question, okay, and we have indicated it here. Do not be confused here. Okay, once we do this, 800 multiplied by 1, we're going to get 800 here. All right. Okay, this should be the total hours. Okay, this should be total hours. Okay, because 800 units multiplied by 1 hour becomes 800 hours. Okay, and then we have got the throughput per unit, and then total throughput. The total throughput. Okay, that's good. Okay, but we are limited to 1800 according to the question. Okay, because the total hours available per each it's given here 1800. Okay, each employee works a standard 40 week for 40-hour week for 47 weeks of the year. That gives a total of 1808 hours. So each employee is restricted to 1808 hours. Okay, so that's our limiting factor. That's the available hours per employee. Okay, so we go back to our Excel. We are restricted to 1808 hours. Already we've used 800. All right, then we go to product. Before we finish the throughput, don't worry, let's do for product A. Let's take everything according to the demand. So according to the demand, how much was demanded of A? product A. Product A was having a demand of 600 units. Okay, I mean procedures. Okay, 600 procedures. All right, we are not in a production environment. Okay, so 600 procedures. So we go back to the Excel and we calculate, we slot in 600. So 600 multiplied by 75 is equal to this guy multiplied by that guy. That's 450 hours. Okay, 450 hours. So what is the balancing figure there? Because we now need the balancing figure. Okay, so if we say you can just work it separately on the sides. Okay, like for example the total, like sum 800 plus this one, sorry, sum 800 and 450, you get 1250. Okay, and then you can say equal sign this guy, okay, minus this guy, 630. That's the available hours, okay, or the remaining hours. So 630, how many units can we produce of C in 630 hours available, or with 630 hours available? So we can say this is equal to this guy divided by this guy. You can see that 540 are the 504 units can be made in 630 hours. Are we together? Okay, having done that, you just have to breathe. Just breathe and relax. Okay, breathe in, relax. All right, now the throughput. What we have to do here is we have two options. Okay, we have two options. It's either we're going to calculate based on the throughput per procedure. Okay, the throughput per procedure, or throughput per bottleneck hour. Okay, and if we are going to use the throughput per bottleneck hour, can just have to be clear here. Throughput per hour, throughput per factory hour. Okay, per hour. Let me just say per bottleneck. Okay, throughput per bottleneck hour, and we have computed this already. Okay, the throughput per bottleneck hour, we have computed this information already. If we go here, this is the information we are referring to. Okay, this is the information we are referring to. Okay, just copy it. Okay, but you have to be careful now. You have to be careful. All right, this is the throughput per hour for product A, so it should be put on product A. Okay, just have to be careful. Okay, right. Then product B, for product B, okay, for product C, you just take the respective throughput. Okay, respective throughput. Done. Then the total throughput, that one is very easy. Okay, that one is very easy. Equal sign this guy multiplied by this guy. Enter. Okay, okay, then just have to copy. So here let us just underline. Okay, and we can say here, you can also underline here and get the total. Okay, you can get the total here, which is got sum, open bracket, this and that, enter. Okay, this is our total contribution. All right, less total hospital costs or other factory costs. Okay, total factory costs less total factory costs. Okay, and we've calculated these ones where we got 548,000. Underline. So the total profit is equal to how much? This is equal to this guy minus this guy. So our profit is 4,363,658. That's the profit we do have. Okay, this is the profit. We do have. All right, now there was something I was talking about concerning the methods you may use to come to the same figures. Okay, let's suppose you decided not to use the throughput per bottleneck hour. You can use the throughput per procedure, okay, or throughput per unit. Okay, based provided you are going to use the units themselves. Okay, you'll be multiplying the throughput per unit, which is we did calculate the throughput per unit here. Okay, This is the throughput per unit. Okay, if you multiply these figures the way we did, okay, just test it and you're going to find it the same. Okay, if you multiply these figures with their respective units, okay, in this product mix, as you can see, using this product mix, if you multiply the throughput per unit with these respective figures, you're going to come to this same figure. The difference will be very small, just owing to rounding. Okay, very small. Okay, they just produce the same figures. All right, but here we have utilized the total hours. Okay, we've utilized the total hours on bottleneck resource. Therefore, we multiply them with the throughput hours. The throughput per bottleneck resource. So like and like. Okay, this is why we are saying they are going to produce the same figures. So for part B, we are done. Let us now discuss the last part, and we call it a day to question thin core. It's no longer a mystery. It is something that is very simple. It was a very simple question and very interesting. Okay, so let us do part C. Let's go to the question and hear what the examiner was saying. Assume that your calculations in part B show that if the optimal product mix is adhered to, there will be excess demand for procedure C of 696 procedures per annum. In order to satisfy the excess demand, the company is considering equipping and using its own theater, as well as continuing to rent the existing theater. The company cannot rent any more theater time at either the existing or any other theater in the area. So, equipping its own theater is the only option. An additional surgeon would be employed to work in the newly equipped theater. Required to discuss whether the overall profit of the company could be improved by equipping and using the extra theater. Okay, so one thing we have to be happy about is whether we are having extra demand. Okay, do we have the extra demand? Okay, let's go back to the question. To the information in the question. We can see here that product C's annual demand is 1,200 procedures, but because of the product mix, okay, product C was found to be less profitable. Okay, so therefore only 500 units, 504 units were produced from 1,200. So this means there was a deficit of how much? Okay, according to product mix, prod mix, 504 units were produced. Okay, but demand was 1,200. So an unsatisfied demand was, or excess demand was equals this guy minus that guy. So excess demand is 696, which is tallying with what is being asserted to by the examiner. Okay, the examiner is saying that there is excess demand of 696. We have discovered that. Okay, we have proven that. Okay, so what it means is with we have to tell the examiners that therefore with an extra theater we can satisfy the demand, the excess demand, and additional contribution would be additional contribution, okay, would be 696, okay, 696, okay, let's just say 696 multiplied by what was the contribution for product C? Let us go to our computations. Okay, just go to our computation. Product C was having this, that's contribution, okay, 39 my computer is started again. Okay, doesn't matter. That's the contribution, okay, the procedure, the contribution of C, okay. Okay, let us just paste it here, okay. This is contribution, okay, good. So since we are in Excel, this is equal to 696, this one multiplied by the contribution. Remember, this is the contribution, okay. Let me just say C is contribution, C is contribution, so that the examiners will not ask questions about that figure, okay. C is contribution, so we're having this one, and the formula is being shown here. The examiner will see the formula and he will give you a mark. Okay, let's move. Now this is the contribution, the extra contribution we are going to get if we have an extra theater. Now we have to deduct. We're not going to get everything about this value. I mean, all the whole value. We're not going to get the whole value. We're going to get the remainder, okay, because there are some costs to worry about. So we have to deduct those costs, Remember, we have to equip this extra theater. We have to equip it, and we also have to hire a surgeon. Okay, because we are told here the company cannot rent any more theater time at either the existing or any other theaters in the area. So equipping its own theater is the only option. An additional surgeon would be employed to work in the newly equipped theater. So if that is the case, then we have to worry about these two costs, the equipping costs as well as the salary for this additional surgeon. So equipping costs, okay, we are told in the first paragraph, this is the trick the examiners do. You would have forgotten about this because of exam pressure, so you just have to be very assertive and very careful. Okay, this is the cost we are talking about. To equip this theater, we need 750,000 bucks straight away. 750. Okay. Okay, we can just write them here, but doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, let us write them there so that we won't be confused. Okay, then we also have to worry about surgeon salary, additional surgeon. And these salaries are paid how much? So it's almost 90,000. Okay, salary, we just assume that he's going to get the same salary as the current surgeon. Okay, and the total here for these guys equals sum their total costs don't forget to put an opening bracket. Okay, you're done. Okay, you're done now. So this is the total cost to do the equipment as well as to give the surgeon his salary. So our profit now, remaining profit or gain, okay, the profit becomes what? Which is equal to this guy minus this one. Enter. So we are left with 1,386,000. 1,386,782. That's the profit we are going to get. So we told the examiners that yes, we're going to get some profit. Okay, because they had asked us, tell us, discuss whether the overall profit of the company could be improved by equipping and using the extra theater. So we are going to have some improvement. Okay, there's going to be some improvement. But you also have to highlight that on top of this, the equipment cost, okay, equipment cost is likely to be a once-off. Equipping costs are a once-off cost, which makes it more desirable again to equip the theater, as in future years the company is not going to incur such heavy outflows of cash. Okay, and this surgeon is likely to also contribute more to the viability of the company, as he would also not be concentrating on procedure C alone, but also on other procedures as well. So more contribution is likely to be sustained. Okay, but you need not also to forget the downside. Okay, like maybe this additional surgeon is not well groomed. He might end up destroying the patient goodwill that has always been with the hospital for a very long time. All right, so there is certain pros and cons which you have to consider, but those ones were outside the remit of this, but you need to mention them after the computation to tell the examiners that you are actually aware of what is going on practically. All right, I'm sure we are done with this question, thin core, and I'm very confident you have been helped in attacking it and in revising throughput accounting in general. Let us now do a quick one before we rest our case. The last question. Okay. Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, please just read this question. Okay, just run through it. Just for a moment. Okay, a company manufactures a product which requires 4 hours per unit of machine time. Machine time is a bottleneck resource, as there are only 10 machines which are available for 12 hours per day, 5 days per week. The product has a selling price of $130 per unit, direct material costs of $50 per unit, labor costs of $40 per unit, and factory overhead costs of $20 per unit. These costs are based on weekly production and sales of 150 units. What is the throughput accounting ratio? This one is a typical exam question for the current period. We are highly likely to face this one. But in the exam, like I've always said, you must bank your your hopes on principle. Okay, because questions are going to change, but the principle is going to remain the same, and it is your only magic wand to success. All right, we know for sure that throughput accounting ratio is about throughput per factory hour. Okay, throughput contribution per hour, or throughput per factory hour. Okay, throughput per factory hour. Okay, divided by other factory costs per hour, or per bottleneck hour. Okay, now what is the throughput per hour? What is the throughput per hour? Okay, we need to be very careful here, because in the exam there won't be enough time to mesmerize, to do other things other than to race with time. Okay, so the throughput per factory hour can be obtained like this. We need to get the throughput and then divide it with the hour on bottleneck resource. Okay, our bottleneck resource has been identified as machine time. Okay, but we are also told that per hour this product requires 4 hours, so this is the hour on bottleneck resource. Okay, so the throughput is given by selling price minus materials. Okay, per hour simply means divided by a hour on bottleneck resource, and bottleneck resource we are told it is 4 hours. Okay, then other factory costs. The other factory cost, the OFC, can be found from the question. Let us read. The product is selling price of this, direct material of that. Okay, labor costs of $40 per unit, and factory overheads of $20 per unit. Okay, these costs are based on weekly production and sales of 150 units. So we can see that here our job has been made easier. Okay, so 150. Okay, 150 multiply by labor costs, because remember labor costs and other factory costs are considered to be fixed costs. Okay, they are just a bunch of fixed costs, so we can just add them up. It doesn't matter their values. Okay, plus 20. Okay, to get the total fixed costs. Remember, it's other fixed costs in total. Okay, so this is the total. Per hour is just like above, divided by the hours on the bottleneck resource. But remember, do not make a mistake. This is, do not put this for 4 hours here. Okay, that's where students end up confusing themselves. Okay, this is per hours in total. Okay, bottleneck hours in total. All right, and these hours in total are given here. Okay, there are only 10 machines which are available for 12 hours per day, 12 hours per day and 5 days a week. So 10, so it's divided by 10 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 5. Okay, so the selling price here, this is equal to our selling price minus material cost. The selling price is 130. Okay, so the numerator 130 minus direct material cost of 50, all divided by 4, divided by 150 plus 150 multiplied by 60. Okay, 150 by 60, all divided by 10 by 12 by 5, using your calculator. Okay, 10 by 12 by 5, that's 600 divided by 600. This gives us, okay, let us just do everything. 130 minus 50, that's 80. Okay, that's 80 divided by 4. 80 divided by 4, that's 20. Okay, so we're going to have 20 all over 150 by 60, 150 by 60, that's 9,000 divided by 600, that's 15. So our final answer is 20 over 15, that's 1.33. So you can see that our answer there is A. It's not by magic, but you just have to lead yourself on principle. Just have to float, just have to breathe, just have to relax, but you have to chase with time, because the exam, the computer-based exam, is very, very, very serious. When time is up, it is up, no negotiations. So you just have to race with time. I hope you have been helped with this presentation. If that is the case, then please don't forget to subscribe for more videos. All right, make the Transcal Consulting Services channel your home, your past destination. I mean, your everything with regards to the ACCA course. This is where ACCA is taught like never before. So do not go away, do not go anywhere. Just find all your solutions on this channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell so that you are going to be informed whenever new videos are given. Until we meet again, may the good Lord bless you. Okay, wherever you are, please, we are there 24/7. We are ready to serve you. And like I said, our contacts are here. Okay, as you can see on the header, as well as here. You can contact us on WhatsApp, you can email us. Okay, that's the guy, Jerry Mchumkulu. Okay, I'm now signing out. I hope you've been assisted. Thank you.